Elon Musk, the tech mogul known worldwide, wasn't dressed in his usual attire. Instead, he disguised himself for a social experiment. He wore an old, oversized jacket, threadbare jeans, a fake bushy beard and mustache, and a beanie pulled low over his head. His shoes, worn and scuffed, seemed completely out of place for someone of his stature. But on this particular day, Elon had a plan. He wasn't here to make headlines or give interviews. He wanted to test something. He wanted to know how people would treat someone who didn't look like they belonged. The experiment began as Elon made his way down a bustling street in Brooklyn, New York. The scent of freshly brewed coffee wafted through the air, guiding him to a small cafe called Urban Brew. The cafe wasn't part of any luxurious brand, but was well known among locals for its cozy atmosphere and affordable menu. The perfect spot for Elon's test. He stopped outside the cafe for a moment, gazing through the glass doors. His reflection stared back at him, completely unrecognizable. The anonymity gave him a strange sense of freedom. Taking a deep breath, he stepped forward, ready to see how the world would respond to a version of him stripped of wealth and fame. As Elon approached the entrance, the cafe's security guard, a burly man named Tom, stepped in his path. Tom's imposing presence matched his tone as he said, "Hey, buddy, you can't just loiter here. Move along." Elon raised his hands slightly, palms up in a gesture of calm. "I'm not loitering. I just want to buy a coffee," he replied, pulling a crumpled wad of cash from his jacket pocket to prove his intention. Tom's eyes narrowed, scanning Elon up and down, clearly unconvinced. "You sure you've got enough for this place?" he asked, his tone skeptical. Elon nodded firmly. "I've got money, just here for a coffee." After a tense moment, Tom grudgingly stepped aside, muttering something under his breath. Elon entered the cafe, feeling the curious stares of the patrons around him. The interior was warm and inviting, with soft yellow lighting and rustic wooden tables. A faint hum of conversation filled the air, mingling with the sound of a steaming espresso machine. At the counter, 2 employees stood waiting. One was a cheerful young man named Sam, who greeted Elon with a bright smile. The other was a woman named Kara, who seemed less than thrilled to be there. Her crossed arms and impatient expression made her attitude clear. "What can I get for you today?" Sam asked warmly. Elon glanced at the menu for a moment before replying, "Just a cappuccino, please." As Sam began to prepare the order, Kara rolled her eyes and muttered something under her breath. Her annoyance was palpable, and Elon noticed it immediately. But instead of reacting, he maintained his composure, silently observing. Kara's dismissive attitude contrasted sharply with Sam's welcoming demeanor. It was clear to Elon which of the two was genuinely invested in their job and the people they served. Moments later, Sam placed a steaming cup of cappuccino on the counter with a friendly, "Here you go. Enjoy." Elon thanked him and carried the cup to a small table by the window. He sat down, his gaze drifting over the room as he sipped his coffee. The drink was warm and comforting, but Elon's focus remained on the people around him. He watched as customers approached the counter, noticing the stark differences in how they were treated. Sam greeted everyone with the same level of enthusiasm, regardless of their appearance or demeanor. Kara, on the other hand, seemed to reserve her energy for sighing loudly and making sarcastic remarks. A middle-aged man wearing a worn jacket stepped up to the counter to ask a question about the menu. Kara barely looked at him before snapping, "It's all written right there. Can't you read?" The man hesitated, clearly uncomfortable, before walking away without ordering. Elon's brow furrowed as he observed the exchange. He could see the man's embarrassment, and it struck a chord with him. Meanwhile, Sam continued to treat each customer with kindness, even when faced with impatient or difficult patrons. His demeanor never wavered, and his smile never faded. Elon stayed at Urban Brew for nearly an hour, blending into the background as he continued his silent observations. He watched as Kara's attitude created tension, while Sam's positivity seemed to ease it. The contrast between them was striking, and Elon couldn't help but wonder how many people faced similar treatment on a daily basis simply because of how they looked or the assumptions others made about them. When he finished his coffee, Elon stood and made his way back to the counter. Sam was wiping down the counter while Kara was engrossed in her phone, ignoring the growing line of customers. Elon cleared his throat to catch Sam's attention. The young man looked up, surprised to see him again. "Hey, how was the cappuccino?" Sam asked with a friendly smile. "It was great," Elon replied. "But I wanted to tell you something." Sam tilted his head curiously. "Sure, what's up?" Elon took a moment to choose his words. "You're a good person, Sam. You treat everyone with respect no matter who they are. That's rare these days." Sam looked taken aback, his cheeks flushing slightly. Thank you. I just try to do my job, he said modestly. Elon smiled. "It's more than that. You've got a good heart, and I'd like to help you." Reaching into his jacket pocket, Elon pulled out a sleek business card and handed it to Sam. The young man stared at it in disbelief. The name on the card read Elon Musk in bold letters. "Wait, Elon Musk? Like the Elon Musk?" Sam stammered, his eyes wide. Elon nodded. "That's me. Call the number on that card tomorrow. I think you deserve an opportunity to do something bigger." Kara, who had been eavesdropping, scoffed loudly. "What's this? Some kind of joke?" "Why would he help you?" she sneered, gesturing dismissively at Sam. Elon turned to her, his expression calm but firm. "Kindness is a choice, Kara. Maybe you should try it sometime," he said before turning back to Sam. "Remember, call the number." Sam nodded, still in shock, as Elon left the cafe. The next day, Sam nervously dialed the number on the card. His hands trembled as he introduced himself to the person on the other end, who immediately scheduled an appointment for him at Tesla's headquarters. When the day of the interview arrived, Sam felt a mix of excitement and nerves as he stepped into the sleek building. The experience was surreal, but Sam's passion for engineering shone through during the interview. He spoke about his dreams, his education, and his determination to succeed. 2 days later, Sam received a phone call. "Sam, this is Elon. I've got good news. Welcome to Tesla." The words felt like a dream, and Sam could hardly believe what he was hearing. He thanked Elon profusely, his voice shaking with emotion. The opportunity changed Sam's life. He moved his family to a better neighborhood, and for the first time in years, they lived comfortably. He never forgot the lesson Elon had taught him. Kindness and respect have the power to change lives. As for Kara, her behavior caught up with her. Complaints from customers and coworkers led to her being transferred to a less desirable location. Her attitude had cost her the respect and trust of those around her. Meanwhile, Sam thrived at Tesla, building a reputation as a hardworking and compassionate team member. Every time he passed by Urban Brew, he remembered the day that changed his life and the man who saw potential in him when no one else did.